Welcome back to today's home hint from Border Home Inspection. I want to talk a little bit about pressure systems today. I've talked about them before, but I want to do a little more detail, give you a little better understanding of how things work. So if you live on an acreage and you want water supplied to your house from a well, then you have to have these two components. Let me show you what they look like. So we got a pressure switch here, pressure gauge, and the pressure tank. I could go into a lot of details about a lot of different things. Let's just focus on the tank and the switch right now. So the tank is used to provide a cushion for the pressure in the water system. And how that works is there's an air bladder inside this tank. And it tells you on the side of the tank how much air to put in that bladder. And the purpose of that bladder is that when the pump kicks in and pumps, let's say it pumps the pressure in the system up to 60 pounds. There's only 28 pounds in that bladder, and it pushes it up until it basically pressures it up to 60 pounds, and then everything at the system is set for 60 pounds. When you open the tap upstairs, and the pump is off, the pressure begins to drop, and all of that air that's compressed up in here starts pushing back down on the water, and it takes a long time for the water to get back down, the whole system to get back down to about 30 pounds. And when that happens, the switch closes. There's two metal plates in there, and they close, and the pump kicks in. The pump, even though you're running water, the pump will pump up the pressure and start compressing that air bladder in here. And the cycle repeats itself. So the whole purpose of the pressure system, the pressure tank in particular, is to provide a cushion for the air so that the pump is not cycling constantly. So if you live in a house where the water pressure that is up and down, up and down. If you're having a shower and you notice that the pressure's strong and then it's weak, strong and weak, or if you come down to your basement, you can hear this thing clicking, then you know that you have a problem somewhere in the system. If this is clicking on and off, it's working fine. It's doing what it's supposed to. You might have to set the pressures in there, but I'm not going to get into that. If it's cycling too quickly, chances are you don't have any air in your bladder system, because pump kicks in, pressures it right up to 60 pounds right away. As soon as you open the tap, pressure starts to drop quickly. So what you want to do is you want to take this off the Schrader valve, and you want to check to make sure you've got pressure in the system. How much pressure do you put in there? Well, this system is tested to 100 pounds, but you only put in this case, it tells you to put in, if you want your pressure to be between 20 and 40 pounds, then you only put in 22 pounds. If you're going between 40 and 60 pounds, 18 pounds, and so on. So it tells you everything. Well, most of the time we put in 28 pounds is what I shoot for. And that's going to provide that cushion, and you're going to stop cycling the pump so quickly. You're going to have more pressure at your faucets and more consistent pressure. One thing that I should mention is that you want to have no pressure on the system when you pressure up the tank. Okay, the best way to do that is to just turn off the power to the pump. There's usually a breaker switch or something like that. It might be a switch on the wall. You would turn that off, open up the faucets, and let the pressure drain right down to zero. So there's no more water coming out of the system. The gauge should be reading zero. And then you put your 28 pounds in the tank. That is to say 28 pounds if your cut-in pressure is 30, 28 is the right amount, or whatever it says on the tank itself. And then pressure the system up that way. Turn the pumps back on. Might get a little bit of air at first, but basically you just everything should work tickety-boo. So thanks for watching another home hint from Border Home Inspection, and stay tuned for the next one.